take away from this experience and dealing with people with relationships?
You know, I just gotta just protect myself a little more. And I encourage, you know, every man or woman who has something to lose, if you ever find yourself in a situation like I was in, you know, you have to record it, because that might be the only thing that's safe.
Do you think it's hurt your career, Jabrill? Do you think it's hurt your career?
I think it hurt my reputation. I think I lost a season, missing 7 games, and I tried to make a comeback, but it's tough to get back in that kind of shape. It's tough to build that callus back.
So one thing I would like to say, because about Jabrill's character, many clients that I've had, other pro athletes that I've represented, have been in similar situations where they've been accused of doing things, and many of them, or some of them, have paid substantial amounts of money, and not just my clients, but other pro athletes, to save their name and to get this out of the news. When this woman hired a lawyer within 10 days, Douglas Rigdor, who you might think is a shakedown artist, the immediate response from myself, from Jabrill, and from 2 attorneys that we're working with in Florida, Sean Lindsay and Adam Kenner, has been, no way, we're not settling. And it really isn't our decision, it was Jabrill's decision. He said, I'm not going to pay her any money, I didn't do anything wrong. And that's been his position the whole time, and that tells you exactly all you need to know about the fact that he didn't do anything. Because if he did something and he had exposure, he would have paid something. He didn't, and he has maintained that position the entire time.
What was going through your head when the jury came back and they read the verdict?
I don't know, I was just nervous. You know, I trusted the process. Marc did a phenomenal job pointing out all the inconsistencies in the story, keeping the trial about the facts. They tried to add a lot of fluff in there, but I think he did a real good job of speaking about what's important, and I think the jury did a real good job of really paying attention to the whole trial, really taking in all the facts, all the details of the situation, and coming back with the correct verdict.
With a record verdict in terms of speed, the jury saw through this. I think the verdict was reached in less than a half an hour. It doesn't usually happen in most cases. And I will say that when I got involved in the case, I met with Jabrill, and the first thing I said at the arraignment is that we had evidence that exonerated him, that showed he was not guilty. And we presented that to the district attorney's office. Unfortunately, they were not interested in looking at that, although they looked at it. And in most of these, if not all domestic violence cases, the way things go right now is they have what's called a no-drop policy. Almost every district attorney's office in the state. So if a man is charged with domestic violence, no matter what evidence you show them that shows that he's not guilty, they are not going to drop the case. And so they went forward on the case that in a situation where we felt very confident no crime had been committed. I've always believed in Jabrill. I knew he was telling the truth. Unfortunately, many people in the media, in the sports media, in the NFL did not have the same faith, and they just assumed he was guilty. And that's the unfortunate part. His reputation was ruined. He got some of that back today. As you all know, the NFL suspended him really for no reason for 5 games, I believe it was, and put him on the exempt list, 7 games. And now it's a huge relief for him to have this case over, to have him vindicated.
I said I had to be quiet for 3 months. This was all I could think about. This was the first time in my life where football wasn't the most important thing on my mind. You know, I had to just sit through, you know, everybody pouring dirt on my name, everybody, for the most part, actually thinking that I did these things. And to me, crimes against children and women are the most egregious thing that you can do. And to be accused of that, it just hurt, you know what I mean? And I think that it makes it difficult for women who actually are abused, you know, to get their proper due. And it also sheds another light on, you know, how men in my position can be victims.
Aaron, speaking, the relief that you saw hugging him in the court.
I trusted the process. I trusted God. I prayed that the jury would come back with the verdict that they came back with, and I was just overjoyed. I'm happy for my son to watch him these last few months was hard on me, and I'm glad that he has some form of vindication today, and I just pray for him to just continue to grow.
Were you upset with a woman saying things about your son that you knew that were true?
I was, and I echo my son's sentiments in that when women make these types of false statements, it does hurt true victims. You know, when true victims have to come forward, they are attacked and assaulted all over again because they have to prove that they've done something. They get blamed for how they dress, if they drink anything. So there's a lot of things that comes into play that makes it difficult for real victims to come forward. And situations like that, I feel, continuously to hurt them. And I think laws should be in place to combat this.
Have you given your son any motherly advice?
As always, probably too much. But yes, you know, and just ultimately just prayed for him. As an ordained minister, I just wanted him to know that God, who sees all and knows all, would make him victorious, and we saw that today.
You're proud of Jabrill.
Very proud of him. Everything that was said is contradictory to the character that he is.
Jabrill, any final words you want to introduce to your fans out there, to the Patriots fans?
To those who believe me, I appreciate y'all. You know, it's still settling in on me right now because situations like this, the truth is never as loud as the accusation. It doesn't gain the same traction that the accusation did. Everybody does things for clicks. So I just hope that we do the right thing. If you commented on this, if you push the story about this, then you push the story about this.
Mr. Peppers, did you want to say anything, sir?
Not really. I'm just happy the verdict came out very good. And a good fit all is well.
Appreciate
Thank you.